What's up guys, Connor here, bringing you the Mass Effect 3 Omega DLC review. Now, while playing through this initially, I decided that I would try to make this review as detailed and as informative as possible. So I'll be covering not only my thoughts on it, but telling you guys quite a bit about it. For that reason there will be a lot of spoilers, including the ending, so I'll link you to a much briefer, spoiler-free version which just outlines the DLC. So, the Omega DLC, well, it's all about Aria and her quest for revenge against General Oleg Petrovsky, who she says kicked her out of Omega. I'm going to go into more detail as to what happened a bit later on. Upon purchasing the DLC, you will receive an email from Aria telling you to go to Dock 42 on the Citadel. For this reason, if you're on an account which you completed a game on, or just if the Citadel's been moved over Earth, you will not be able to do the quest, since travelling to the Citadel will initiate the end of the game.
So where is she?
Upon arrival at the Citadel, you get into a car with Aria, who goes on to explain the mission.
Shepard.
The situation is as follows. Aria wants General Oleg Petrovsky dead, and you're the only one she can trust to get the job done. She admits you are the best soldier she knows, and she also tells you that this is about your war, but I was sceptical since, come on, since Aria. She may respect you, but surely she wouldn't do something like this to help you out.
What's the catch?
I later found out I was wrong in thinking this. You do gain her fleet, or at least her second fleet, on top of her main game fleet. She does say there's a catch, however. For whatever reason, she doesn't want your companions to come along. She says something about not liking them or wanting you to herself or whatever. Now at this point I thought it was going to be a massive solo mission where you don't get any help. Wrong. In place of your companions, Aria teams up with you. This got me pretty excited since I've never seen her fight in real combat, and I got to control her as if she were one of my companions. And in a minute I'm going to explain her skill tree.
Set preset course.
You then have to rendezvous with her fleet. There, a cutscene is shown on board a Cerberus vessel that Aria hijacked. Many of the cutscenes involve a fair amount of action in them. It's a pretty fast-paced DLC.
Don't worry.
During this cutscene, you have 2 or 3 conversation options with either Paragon or Renegade inclines. This is the same throughout the DLC. Many of the major choices are made by you, and are either Paragon or Renegade. I'll get into more detail as I go on with this. You have a short conversation with the General himself, who states you can either turn back or die. Aria, of course, does neither. So you find yourself arriving on Omega in style, and get put straight into the combat with Cerberus troopers. Apart from one enemy, which I'll discuss later on, the only enemy you fight throughout the DLC will be Cerberus. Okay, now I'll just quickly run us through Aria's skill tree. So to begin with, we have Flare, which is basically, well, it's her unique ability, and it's basically a biotic explosion in itself. So you've got your first 3 there that you have to do, and then you have a choice between damage increase and radius increase, recharge speed increase, and a increase in damage for biotic detonations. And then finally you have another radius increase, or damage to shields and barriers increase by a massive 75%. Our next one is Reeve, which is it's been in the game since the start. Basically, any enemy or any character at all who has Reeve in effect on them takes damage from all other sources for a given amount of time. I didn't pick Reeve for Aria, but I just quickly ran through what Reeve has. Same for Carnage, I didn't pick it, but she does have it. One of her only, I think it's her only tech power, because she's a biotic player really. I'm not sure why she has Carnage. But it's basically a missile designed to break through armour and unarmoured units. Lash is her 4th attack power. I picked this one, and it basically, she'll fire an orb forward and it will sort of stab into the enemy, and then she'll pull them towards her. So you can have a detonation increase in damage or a general damage increase. Recharge speed and 100% damage over 10 seconds. And then this one that I picked allows you to pull armoured targets and shielded targets. And the final passive one is called Biotic and Boss. And she has some bonuses like power damage and health and shield bonuses. I made her a bit tankier, a bit of power damage because she's biotic, and I gave her a bit of a team ability there. Okay, so just here I thought I'd demonstrate me using flare here on this turret. Yeah, that was flare. Most of the DLC is spent fighting, and while you're happily cutting your way through Omega, don't forget to stop and look around. There are many of the usual Mass Effect items that you can discover, like journal entries, XP and credits, as well as weapon mods such as the shotgun high velocity barrel, and weapons like the Valkyrie, otherwise only available as a pre-order bonus, and the Chakram launcher, otherwise only available through playing the Kingdoms of Amalur Reckoning demo. I'll show you those weapons later for those who don't know what they're like. For now, let's focus on some little additions, namely the force fields and rampart mechs. The force fields are designed to disintegrate organics upon impact, as the core Vorcha soon discovers. Also, you discover the rampart mechs, which are similar to the Loki mechs from Mass Effect.2. They have armour and are both ranged and melee. Oh, and don't worry about the force fields in combat. You can touch them without fear of finding a humiliating method of shuffling into a mortar coil or dying. Okay, so the next big thing I wanted to show you is something completely unexpected. Unless you've read up on the DLC beforehand, then it may come as no surprise at all. So, in this cutscene shows the first introduction, BioWare's first introduction, of a female Turian, who's called Nyreen. And what a great job they did too.
Look who's back.
Unlike some of the other anticipated reveals that were frankly awful, I think they've done an excellent job with how she looks. Although hooded at the start, you will see later on that you actually get to see her whole head, which is more than can be said for, say, the Solarian and Krogan females.
Stay alive. If it wasn't for these tunnels.
You do get Nyreen on and off as an ally in combat too. She is a big biotic, but also packs some tech powers too. I'll just bring up her skill tree and show you around. Okay, so a quick rundown of Nyreen's skills. Apologies, I do go pretty fast through these, so if you want to pause it to have a proper look at them, feel free. We started off with Incinerate, where in rank 4 you have either a damage bonus or impact radius. Rank 5 you've got damage over 8 seconds or recharge speed, and then damage to frozen targets or armoured targets there. And then, for some reason, I skipped right down to her passive ability, Turian Huntress. So you've got your first 3. Similar to Arya's, basically. I'm really sorry I kind of didn't really spend that long. Oh, and by the way, she's tech. I think I said she was biotic earlier. She's actually tech. More than biotic. I went for the team player there again. What did I go through next? Biotic Protector. Oh, I think I just went through the ones that I actually picked for her. This is basically a small bubble shield that goes around her. You can just fit inside it. Like I said earlier, just pause it on each bit and have a look. The other two were Overload and Lift Grenade, which I'm not sure whether I picked any more. We'll just see here. Yeah, an Overload, okay. This kind of gave me an extra pack some more punch against things like Atlases, where their shields don't drop with just my Overload, so it just helps me out with that. Overload, hopefully most of you guys are pretty familiar with Overload, and obviously Lift Grenade. I think I just quickly scanned through Lift Grenade. Now, as well as being an ex-Turian military member, she also later turns out to be the leader of the Talons, and she fights for the people of Omega. Throughout the DLC, she acts as a counterbalance to Arya, the feisty, hard-headed Asari. They both contradict each other to the extreme, yet get on so well. I think this is one of the really well-done parts of the Omega DLC. If you talk to Nyreen when you get the chance to, you can actually listen to her history with Arya, and it turns out that she was
They practically
she
locked
left the
me away.
military
I
because
couldn't use
they
my
didn't like
skills
how
to
powerful
benefit
she'd
my
become
people.
with her biotics.
So I quit. I
And
floated
she
around
wandered about the galaxy looking for a
looking for a new
purpose.
purpose.
And she found Arya, and she really looked up to Arya.
More like I lost my
But
way here.
she didn't turn out
But then
like
there was this
Arya at all, because obviously
fierce
she's like
nature.
the good
Didn't
side
let
on your
anyone
shoulder, and
define us.
Arya's like the bad
I'll
side
admit,
sort of thing.
I was mesmerized.
It's almost a mini story in itself. It's just it's really well done.
For all the drama between us, I'm grateful to Arya. She helped me remember who I am.
Okay, welcome to Arya's bunker. This is your main base of operations. Within this bunker, you can find a few points of interest. So be sure to walk around and listen to some of the conversations, some of which will continue each time you return to them. So they'll stop at a certain point, and you run away, do something, come back, and they'll carry on. And you know, it's a trivial, but it can be pretty interesting. You can also here find a hacker just over there. I think I run to the hacker now. Yep. That was the hacker there. I've just run past the hacker. There's a med bay here. There's the hacker.
What is it?
I've been tasked with
there's one of the achievements you can get on this game. You have to talk to this hacker to start it, because the achievement is for completing all the side quests, and the hacker gives you a side quest, one of the 3 side quests, I believe, in this DLC. The second side quest is given to you by the mechanic, who is just the other side of the bunker from the hacker, just over here, the one with all the sparks. That's the mechanic. And later you'll find an Elcor who runs a store, and he'll give you the 3rd side quest. Complete all of these and you will get a 50G achievement, so it's worth it.
I'll see what I can do.
So from this base, well, there's also a weapons bench here and an armor locker, so you can customize your stuff here while you're here as well. From this base you can select, you go to Arya, and she'll give you your next mission, and you'll leave via a door and you'll return here, and then Arya will give you your next mission and you'll leave via another door. I think you do it 2 or 3 times.
The terminal is active. Thank you, Commander.
Now, just quickly before we move on, the Talons that I mentioned earlier were once a small-time merc group and have now been transformed into an honourable fighting force, and under the command of Nyreen they serve the people of Omega with outposts all across Omega. These, I'm not sure whether you come across them at all in the actual campaign, so I think, don't hold me to this, but I think they are a new addition to Mass Effect through this DLC. They were supposedly too small time to be worried about before the attack on Omega, where the larger groups such as the Blue Suns were wiped out apparently, and it gave the Talons the opportunity to seize control, basically. There's also a brand new enemy introduced into this DLC.
I know fighting Reapers is old hat.
These savage beasts were created by Cerberus using Reaper
What they
tech,
do to people,
and as usual, they got out of
they
hand.
could still be out there.
Adjutants supposedly turn anyone they kill into adjutants, apart from the ones they don't, for whatever reason. Throughout this DLC, they don't seem to turn anyone they kill into adjutants. They're pretty cool enemies. They use mainly melee, but they do have a ranged attack where they throw a biotic orb, and they have barriers and armour. You do have to battle quite a few of them once you fight your first one, and they can swarm you on the high difficulties. Now, unfortunately, although it was great the way they'd introduced Nyreen and the way they'd showed her the detail on her and everything, I thought BioWare were really taking a turn for the better. But again, as always, it seems with these endings, Nyreen has to be killed off. There is no way they could have incorporated into the campaign at all. Maybe she could have become part of one of your crew like the Prothean Javik did. She could have even become a romance option, maybe even not, if it's not for you, maybe for Garrus. That would have been an interesting twist. But they've killed her off. And just another amazing character that they haven't given her the time she deserved in the game. So, see this scene here. Although she does go out in quite a heroic way, it does seem a bit trivial because I think all she's doing is saving 5 civilians. It's just, this end bit looks rushed for me, to be honest. And I was really disappointed, and I know a lot of people are quite disappointed with this. This was one of the major disappointments. Anyway, so there is a lot of gameplay between the adjutant fight I showed you and the end that I'm not showing you now, but that I'm talking about now. Unfortunately, I had a bit of a technical issue, and so I didn't get the final 2 cutscenes of the boss battle and the last major cutscene, but I'll talk about it. So, it's got quite a twist. There's a boss battle at the end, but there's quite a twist to it. Obviously, in the cutscene beforehand, Nyreen sacrifices herself. Arya then blasts her way into Afterlife in a biotic rage, with you tagging along behind. And the final battle requires you to activate 4 switches, and each time shooting a generator to release Arya, who's got herself trapped, before finally clearing the area. As a reward, you gain the ability to learn Lash and Flare from the medbay, as well as pocketing 15,000 credits. After this battle, Oleg simply surrenders. To my understanding, Oleg isn't like the Elusive Man at all. He seems genuinely caring towards Omega's people, and he does numerous times give you the chance to turn back. You also discover that Arya wasn't kicked out at all, but Oleg let her escape. So the final choice you are given is whether or not you kill him. There are a few glitches I found throughout the game, mainly the cutscenes. Well, I'll just show a few clips now where they kind of do a funny little twitch, and also there are 1 or 2 missions, you know, the generic Mass Effect missions where you have to defend yourself while something's doing something, but conveniently it only happens when you've killed everybody as you're fighting through. It's objectives like that as you go through. But as far as I can see, your choices throughout the campaign, throughout the DLC, greatly affect Arya. I went Paragon when I did this. I haven't done Renegade yet, and she later showed signs of compassion in the final cutscene. But apparently, going Renegade allows you to romance Arya, because I suppose she's a renegade as well, so it would appeal to her. So that's quite interesting. Your actions really affect the ending. Overall, this DLC was a good one. It was a fresh and welcome change to the normal Mass Effect experience, in the sense that it pulls away from the main story. So, unlike the Leviathan DLC, it isn't all about stopping the Reapers. So it gives it the chance to let loose, where with the Leviathan, this Reaper destroyer you're supposed to be discovering has to count for nothing, or the end of the game wouldn't work. Whereas this DLC has little to do with the end of the game, save that you get Arya's fleet. So they didn't need to worry about anything like that. It also helps put some background to Arya, as well as finally revealing a female Turian, and giving you a break from constantly fighting Reapers, which really got annoying. I would definitely recommend this DLC. Even if you've finished the game, obviously you'd have to start again. It isn't a bad price for 1,200 Microsoft points as well. And it does only bring in 3 achievements though, and none of them are for insane completion. I hope you've enjoyed this kind of review. I mean, it was my first time doing It's quite complex, really. There's so many clips I've been cutting, and I have lost a fair few clips, so that's why I had so many still images. So I apologise for that. But I didn't expect it to be pristine since it was my first one. So long as it was informative, I'm happy. So I'll see you guys in another video.